bringing you the latest news from Estacado Athletics. This is the Matador Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to 100.7 The Score in the High School Fan Zone on a Monday night. We're going to jump into the Matador Fan Zone, as we always do on Monday. And I've got, if you're watching on TV, to my far left, so your name pops up as JT. You go by...
Joshua.
I
go by JT. Some of my family members call me JT.
There we go. Joshua Young, defensive coordinator, and I'm glad you're back because last time here we had to talk about some tough moments the defense was going through, and I just totaled up some things we're going to talk about. Things have gotten a lot different, a lot better.
Yes, sir.
Two of his guys, Donovan, you're everybody's guy. You're offense, defense, special teams. You play everywhere. Donivan Torrez and Devin Harris. Devin, you don't hide who you are, man.
No, sir.
You wear it out there so everybody can tell. I may have to get me one of those. So we mentioned your so 6-4, regular season's over.
Yes, sir.
You guys, are you taking it somewhat easy this week, or are you kind of exhaling a little bit?
We taking it easy day by day, all together, just taking our time to heal up and all that. So,
Devin, are you glad to be having a break right now?
I'm glad for the break, but I'm ready to go back to practice.
Yep, I was going to say, I bet you guys are also chomping at the bit to get back out there. I asked Josh if we could announce this because it popped up on Facebook. Your playoff game is set, even though everybody else is playing this week. You guys play Fort Stockton, 7 p.m. Friday, November the 15th.
Yes, sir.
At the Mustang Bowl in Andrews.
Yes, sir.
Very historic place. You guys have been there a bunch. You've played there. You played there this year, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you guys know the lay of the land. Played Andrews a bunch. You've not played Fort Stockton. Fort Stockton did come up here and play Liberty. That's who Liberty got their first win against. And you guys had a little tussle with Liberty last week that we're going to talk about here.
Yes, sir.
But the defense has been a key to you guys winning your last 5 games. And I told you, I totaled up the numbers just in district. In 4 district games, you guys have only given up 957 total yards. Devin, what turned things around for you guys in district play? What got you guys going on defense?
I think it was just all of us coming together at practice, practicing hard every day.
What about you, Donovan? Because you struggled at times defensively in that when you guys were going through those growing pains. When did you start inflicting those pains on people?
I feel like it was just us, like during halftime, like we'll start off slow, like the first and second quarter, and then halftime we have a good motivational speech. And offense and defense, especially defense, we all come together strong, and we got to get on the other team's tail.
You mentioned motivational speech. My guy that covered the game the other day talked to Bobby, and Bobby talked about talking to you guys at halftime. That shocked me because I don't know if I've heard Bobby say more than 5 or 6 words at a time. He's just a quiet, get on my back and follow me. But I would imagine when Bobby talks, you guys listen.
Yes, sir.
What was his message at halftime the other night that kind of got your attention against Liberty?
It was just really just all of us coming together as a team, and we can't leave district 3-1. We all got to be undefeated district champs like we came out.
So let's talk about that game a little bit. Liberty came out, they scored quick, which that had been a problem early in the season, the big plays giving up. But you guys adjusted, and I think my guy said that after halftime, they only had, I think, 60 or 70 total yards, something like that.
Yes, sir.
So they got your attention, Josh, in that first half. And they're a talented young team. They're still – I'm not supposed to mention how young that they're still just sophomores and juniors and some freshmen. But you guys put your foot down on their throats there when it mattered. What did you get your guys to do second half, or was this them adjusting – with you just kind of saying, yep, let's do that?
I think that they adjusted well, but also, at halftime, like you said, Bobby came out and made a good speech to the team, and then right before they came out the tunnel, he spoke again to the team. Guys, buckle down. I think that we kind of calmed down, settled into the game. We came out of the in the first half, we came out a little bit flat, so I think guys kind of settled down, started realizing they didn't have to do everyone's job, just do your job and settle in and take care of your business. And once we did that, I think you start seeing the production kind of amp up a little bit in the second half.
That sounds a lot like maybe what's happened the last 5 games, because I remember when you were on before, you talked about how guys knew what they needed to do. Now it was just a matter of each guy doing his job.
Yes, sir. I think that kids, like as I told you before, I think that the kids are buying in. I think that they're knowing their responsibilities. But again, we don't have to, go out and go win the game, put put the game on our shoulders. I think they're relying on their brothers and just doing their job and being where they're supposed to be and making when they're supposed to make the plays, they make those plays in.
You've got two of your big playmakers here.
Absolutely.
Devin, when you guys started to find that rhythm, that confidence, what was it that kind of got you guys in the right direction? You finished right at about 100 tackles, so you've been a guy that's kind of been there all season long. Who are some guys that started to elevate their games around you a little bit?
The first person I would say is Darren Tristan. Yeah, he's a good. He didn't start off like at the beginning of the season. Now he's filling his spot. He's playing a big role in the games, making a whole bunch of tackles for us.
What about you, Donovan? Who are some guys that secondary wise that have kind of grown up a little bit?
I'll say Devontae Robinson. Yeah, he started off slow. He was a senior, but he started off slow. Didn't know what he was doing at first, and then we all got him on track and practiced hard with him.
Now you guys have shored up the back seven, back six, whatever. Those big guys up front, how much have they made an impact these last 5 games?
Oh, yeah, they made a big impact on the run game and putting pressure on the quarterback with passes and all that. Yes, sir.
Who are some of those guys?
Juju, and then Big V on both sides, and then Braylon Horge and
Cam Collins.
Cam Collins.
Brandon Christian does a good job for us. Bobby, as he said, so.
I was going to say, Bobby goes over there every once in a while. He was actually HubCityPreps.com Defensive Player of the Week a few weeks ago. That was after the Levelland game.
Levelland, yes.
And that, to me, that Levelland game may have kind of been a snapshot of your season because Levelland was doing some things, and you guys kind of turned a switch on. And, again, Bobby came out in the second half and just took over. I know you have to let the offensive coaches have Bobby sometimes.
Correct.
But how impactful is he when he gets over on that side of the ball and he's locked in?
I think the fact of having Bobby on the defensive side of the ball, and then guys like Darren stepping in, it kind of gives offenses some fits when the way we move our defense around and kind of personnel everybody. So I think that helps out because then you don't know who to block. Bobby's a little bit he slow plays things and he's more smarter with things, and then Darren he flies around. So I think both of them on both sides on the same side sometimes is tougher offenses.
Well, you guys have been tough on offense and on teams in general the last 5 weeks especially, and we're going to talk more about that and what comes ahead when we come back after the break. Matadors are off this week. Their regular season's done. We'll talk about what lies ahead for them when we come back on the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Breaking down Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I am Randy Rosetta. I'm joined by Estacado Defense Coordinator Josh or Joshua.
Joshua.
We determined it's not JT, so Joshua, because if you introduce yourself as Josh Young in Lubbock, you get a lot of second looks because pretty good baseball player.
Absolutely.
That spent some time here, plays for the Rangers now. Devin Harris and Donivan Torrez in the middle. Talking about the Matadors' last win, which was against Liberty. I don't know if this impacted you guys that much, but it was a big deal, I think, for the Liberty folks. It's the first time they'd played another city team. It's their first year of varsity football. They were kind of amped up, and that probably had a little bit to do with them getting off to a quick start. You guys had the big finish. I think 22 points, 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So, Donovan, you were part of the offense early. Offensively, what did you guys start to do to kind of wear them down and take control after they came out and surprised you a little bit early?
We just ran the ball down the throat. They couldn't stop the run, so we have 4 strong backs, so just kept on running the ball.
We just talked about that one, number 22, that kind of makes defensive guys not want to get in his way, and he had a pretty good second half. Mm-hmm. I think he had 2 of your last 3 touchdowns and set up the third one.
Yes, sir.
You run the ball. Cedric runs the ball. Bozeman runs the ball. When Bobby gets going, how does that affect things for all of you guys?
Once we see him get the momentum, we all just want to catch up, get his stats, what he got, and just catch up with him.
Because they're going to put a lot of focus on him. He's been doing this for 4 years, so he jumps out when they're doing the scouting report. Devin, I asked you this, and you didn't hesitate. In practice, you don't mind. You'll bring Bobby down. You'll get in front of him, and you don't mind going man-on-man.
He's more of a gentle giant, I would say.
So what if he's a gentle giant? How would you describe yourself?
So
You're pretty quiet, dude.
Tasmanian devil or something.
There we go. All right. And now I've watched you enough to know, and you followed the steps of some pretty good linebackers through the years at Estacado. You go back and look at those guys and kind of take stuff from them, guys you've played with.
Yes, sir. 3 years. 3 years before I was the linebacker, it was my brother Keyshawn Harris.
Okay, yep.
Yes,
and he could play the position pretty well.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm trying to think of the guy last year who was a pretty good linebacker.
It was Keyshawn and Nate Order. Yeah.
Nate Order. Yep. You guys have. It seems like every school finds a position that they kind of get known for. Linebacker and running back are kind of the things. Of course, you fast guys figure out something to make an impact too. Whenever people ask me about what's Estacado good at, I'll list things and they'll say, and they're pretty fast. So, Donovan, is Estacado pretty fast? Is this a pretty fast Estacado team?
Yes, sir. We all have speed, different speeds. Yes, sir.
Remind me, it's you, Cedric, and Bozeman.
Yes, sir.
We will stick in football season, but in the spring you're going to be trying to get to state for the third year in a row?
Yes, sir. Third time in a row. Got to go make it. Got to go at least top 3.
How much is that success in the spring, in the fall, or vice versa? How much do those kind of feed off of each other or fuel each other?
Just speed. Just us practicing, working hard at practice. It just translates over. Our mind focus, it just got to click over.
I can't remember if we were talking on the air. Coach, you were mentioning about how there's times when, even when you guys are out of position, that speed, you can fix some things on the fly with the speed you guys have.
Absolutely. I think that those guys, they figure it out. I mean, they see. Sometimes I think that they play a little bit confused. They might be confused, but I think that they let their athleticism correct those, or sometimes I'll make calls and their athleticism actually is what gets them to the play. So I think they do a great job of that, and again, just figuring out kind of what we wanted to do as a defense. And now it's about, for the past few weeks they've been doing a great job of flying around. So
when you got here and started kind of evaluating your guys and seeing what you had on defense, did the speed surprise you, or did you have an idea that's what they could do?
I knew that's what they could do. Again, you brought up the track a couple of years ago. I seen these guys in track at regionals a few years ago, and so I knew that they were fast. And then doing my research before I came here, I was like, wow, we got some guys, some young guys coming back. Of course, we're senior led. We got a little bit more seniors than what I wanted, but than what you would want, but. We got some young guys and they can fly, so, and that's a testament to the whole team. I think that, when you look at Big V and he can move and, so it's everybody out there can move. So
I imagine that practices, that speed creates some competitiveness as well. Mm-hmm. We've got one more segment of the Matador Fan Zone coming up. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about what lies ahead. Matadors play Fort Stockton November 15th at the Mustang Bowl in the 4A Division II by district round. We got some time before we get there. We'll be back on 100.7 The Score on the Matador Fan Zone after this break.
Bringing you the latest news from Estacado Athletics. This is the Matador Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I'm Randy Rosetta. I'm joined by Joshua Young, defensive coordinator, Devin Harris, and Donivan Torrez. We're talking about Estacado's football. They're 6-4, have won 5 in a row. 5 in a row sounds a lot better than starting out 1-4, doesn't it? Devin, you, as one of the older guys and one of the leaders on the team, when you guys were 1-4, how did you make sure that guys didn't kind of wave a white flag? And I know coaches have a lot to do with that, but as players, when you're a player leader, how do you make sure that guys keep showing up to practice, keep fighting, keep playing hard?
Well, I just kept telling them what our coaches tell us. Well, what Blaylock they would say, they were like, every time y'all play somebody good, y'all just nut up. We wouldn't perform. And I feel like every game we lost, it's not because we stopped playing or we gave up. It's just we were playing and we didn't push the button on earlier, and we just didn't pull it through at the end. But I feel like we were bowing up to the challenge this year.
Same for you, Don, because you've been on teams that have had a lot of success. Coach Blaylock's 2 teams both went to the playoffs last year. You guys won 10 games. You knew that there was good football in there. 1-4 just didn't look right. What did you do? What did you say to guys to kind of keep them motivated and fired up?
Just picking up on what Devin said, just us coming to practice, have a good mindset, and then just coming to practice and practicing hard.
It's kind of, am I right that Andrews was the first of the 5 wins in a row, so you guys get to go back down to their stadium?
Yes, sir.
Once you guys won that game, you got back after losing the 4 in a row. What did that do, practice-wise, mentality-wise, kind of just psyche for you guys?
Everybody just hustling around, no walking on the field, no walking off the field. Everything we do just fast-paced and just being smart and doing everything hard as we can.
So, Joshua, you had guys who could kind of say that, but as coaches, as first-year head coach, you guys had all coached, but first-year head coach, he was kind of learning on the job. What did you as coaches do to not let them get too far down in that valley when you were 1-4?
I believe that it's not panicking. Trying not to panic and realizing that we actually played some good teams. Those were good opponents, and I think all 4 of them are still doing well right now. So, not panic, just reinstilling our boys. Hey, this is what our young men. This is what we want. This is the expectations we're looking for, and then you start kind of putting it back on them. Like, we can't lead you guys. We can't go out there and go play for you guys. So. Leaders start stepping up, and it started becoming more player-led, competing in practice a lot more. Guys starting to take it a little bit more personal, and appreciating the fact that we're out here, trying to go win games. And we didn't get a lot of kickback from the kids either, though. 1-4, you would think that kids are starting to get down, or they want to go to another sport, or they're wanting to quit, and the kids just kept showing up and kept working, and we persevered through it all. So we're just going to keep pushing on that momentum.
So I'm going to read you through this list from 4A division, District 2 region. The Max Prep's confusing me sometimes. The 4A district up in Amarillo, West Plains, 6-3, 4-0 district champion. Randall 8-1, 3-1, lost to West Plains. Hereford 7-2, 3-1, lost to West Plains. I think they lost to West Plains. So that's 3 of your losses right there. That's teams that right now are 15, 21, 21-6 going into the playoffs. So yeah, you guys played. Your guys had to eat their meat and potatoes there for 5 weeks. We
definitely went through a gauntlet, but I think it helped our younger guys who didn't have varsity experience grow. And then we stopped with the turnovers. We stopped with the penalties. We stopped, we started tackling a little bit, started flying to the ball. You start seeing more guys get to the ball, and guys just taking pride in playing for Estacado.
I'm glad you said that about the turnovers, because when I would see your games, the games I hadn't covered, when I'd see the box score afterwards, it got to the point where the first thing I was looking at was turnovers, because you guys were struggling with that. And that changes such stuff so much in a high school game when you give the other team free possessions.
Right.
What was the key? I'm going to get Donovan, you talk about that because you play a lot of offense. What was the key there to eliminate the turnovers?
Yeah, just us, like I said, just us coming to practice hard, ball security mainly. Yes, sir.
So I'm looking at the 3A teams you guys played. Sweetwater 6-3, Jim Ned 6-3. So it was a tough gauntlet for you guys, but you found a way. Estacado's won 5 in a row. They're 6-4. They're off this week because their regular season's over. These guys get to rest and relax. Maybe not relax too much. Get ready for week 1, Class 4A Division II by district. They're going to play Fort Stockton at 7 p.m. November 15th at the Mustang Bowl. We'll be back to talk more high school football, high school sports on Tuesday. This is Randy Rosetta with the Matador Fan Zone and the High School Fan Zone.